Hi everyone, this is Dave Voltolin, the community lead from Reflek. Just want to thank you all for attending the webinar today. We're going to be going over some information about Reflek and how you can partner with us. So first off, quickly want to go over the agenda. We'll be talking a little bit about how Reflek works, some of the advantages of working with Reflek, some of the challenges that Reflek resolves, a little information about the platform, going over some of the best practices and functionality of the platform, the communication and competitive ownership, compensation and payment terms, and a live Q&A. And just so everyone knows, you will have the ability to chat throughout this webinar with us here at Reflek, and a member of the Reflek team will be answering your questions as you're chatting with us. I will also try to answer questions as we go along and as we get close to the end of the webinar. Okay, first off, how Reflek works. So Reflek, the way Reflek works is we establish the relationship with the client up front through our sales and marketing teams. The client provides us with an information about what type of positions they would need to fill. We give our recruiting community access to those positions, and we give them the ability to apply in a couple of different ways to these positions. And we also give the recruiters access to the activity for each of the positions. So you have an idea of what type of candidates are being submitted and the progress of any candidate that you submit for the position. And we also give you the information on what type of referral reward you would receive if you were to fill this position. And the best thing about the platform for recruiters is it's absolutely free to use. Some of the competitive advantages of working with Reflek. Now, as you can see, there's a number of advantages, but one of the main ones on the employer side is our model allows the client's positions to be worked on by the entire community of recruiters that are signed up onto the website. This gives the client access to more recruiters, and having access to more recruiters, they'll have access to more resumes at a faster pace. On the recruiting side, the recruiters have access to a number of different positions from a variety of clients. And of course, the platform is built with a recruiter's perspective in mind. So on the recruiter side, you'll see a number of different pieces of information that Reflek gives the recruiters to be successful. Now here's some of the clients that we're currently working with at Reflek. As you can see, we're working with some top names in the industry right now and steadily adding more clients to our database. And on the Reflek side, you can get an idea of some information about us as a company. On the Reflek side, we're a fairly young company. We've been in business about 2 years now. And as you can see, we've been steadily growing and adding to the recruiting side and the client side. And we're posting about $2 million worth of referral rewards on the platform. Okay, some challenges resolved by working with Reflek. On the employer side, there's a number of different challenges that are rectified by working with the Reflek platform. One of the main ones is the ability to access more candidates at a faster pace and for less money. And as I said, on the recruiting side, it's access. We give the recruiters access to hundreds of open jobs. We take away the hassle of finding new clients and allow the recruiters to do what they do best and recruit for these positions. And as I said, everything is completely free. All right, so I'm going to go into a little bit of information about submitting candidates and some best practices on working on the Reflek platform. This should be able to get you started submitting candidates and navigating the platform. First off, I want to draw your attention to your profile on the Reflek platform. Now, just want to go over some information about editing your profile and the things we look for in terms of information on your profile. First off, we ask you for just your basic information, name, email address, and if we can, get a contact number for you as well. Now, if you have company-specific information that you'd like to include on your profile, we give you that option as well, but it isn't mandatory for you to fill in this information. Secondly, we want to get an understanding of what functions you specialize in. We ask you to pick up to 5 functions that you are most comfortable with. You can pick less than 5, but we prefer you not pick more than 5 because we try to get a good understanding here at Reflek on what types of positions would be most interesting to you, and we don't want to overload you with positions that wouldn't pertain to your specialty. Next, just want to draw some attention on the Candidates tab on your close to your dashboard. This is an area we give you to keep track of the status of your candidates as they're being applied to the various positions. We also give you the ability to contact these candidates through the platform to make things a little easier for you. Next, I want to go into the jobs section. Now, once your recruiter profile is updated, the main landing page for you would be the jobs page. And here at the jobs page, you'll see once you log in for the first time, it'll be automatically filtered by your specialties. So we give you a couple of options on how to filter jobs. First is the advanced search option. You can either put in specific information in this area, or you can click the advanced search tab and search by region and specialties, etc. We also give you these tiles with specific job functions. When you click on the tiles with the specific function, it will only show jobs within that specific specialty. If you wanted to see multiple positions, we give you that option as well. If you want to revert back to the default setting where all the jobs are laid out by date from newest to oldest, you would just need to click on the Clear Filters tab. And that'll show you all the positions that are laid out in the platform by date. Next, I want to give you some information about the compensation and our guarantee period. Now, compensation is given to the recruiters in 2 methods, either the percentage method or the monetary amount. When you start sourcing into the platform, you'll see most of the older positions are in the monetary setting, but we've seen that more recruiters are responsive to the percentage-based amount, so we're reverting mostly to the new positions to the percentage-based model. And this is the percentage of the annual salary of the candidate that you would place for that position. Next is the guarantee period. Now we put all the guarantee periods that we agree upon with our clients here on the platform as well. Most of our guarantee periods are from 60 to 90 days, and we'll give you that information right here next to the referral reward amount. This is just an option for the recruiters to get an understanding of when they'll be paid if they were to place a candidate with the client. The next area I'd like to highlight is the candidates activity, or I should say the pipeline of candidates for any specific position. This field here will give you the breakdown of how many candidates are in the pipeline for this role, how many open positions, how many people are in various stages, and if there's any offer stages or rejections, they'll be updated here as well. That'll just help the recruiter get an understanding of which positions to concentrate on and prioritize. This position, for example, would be one that would be covered in my perspective, meaning that there's only one open position and 6 people in the pipeline. And once you start to navigate the Reflek platform, you'll see all the open positions, and there are a lot of open positions that are in need of coverage. Next is the employer's activity. This is another bit of information we give the recruiters to help them prioritize the jobs and decide which ones to start working on. This area will give you the activity, or the correspondence, I should say, of our internal account manager with the client-side hiring manager. For example, this area here says that the activity or correspondence that they've had with the hiring manager happened 1 day ago. And if you were to click on the eye icon, it'll give you a breakdown of what type of correspondence and the dates that are that are connected with these comments. You'll get a breakdown of each date and the comments that are associated with it. And like I said, we try to give you this information so that you can get an understanding of how active this client is. Okay, next are the job details and job insights. And we address that to you, to the recruiters, in a couple of different ways. First off is a full job description that we get from our clients. And this is a detailed job description with information about the clients themselves and about the job information and specifics pertaining to that specific opening. Now you can see here that we give you a little bit of an at-a-glance snapshot so that when you're doing some recruiting for this position, you'll be able to pull this up and quickly answer questions for your candidate. The next area we give you in terms of information about the position is the Job Insights field. When you click on the Job Insights field, it'll give you detailed information about the location of the position. If we have information in terms of sample resumes, we'll include that here in the Job Insights field. And of course, specific must-haves and nice-to-haves information pertaining to what type of skills the hiring manager has deemed necessary for the position. Okay, moving into the preventing duplicate submissions. Now we're going to be moving into the making submissions area. So I'm going to be highlighting some best practices for recruiters in submitting candidates. But first off, I want to highlight the prevent duplicate submissions area. The prevent duplicate submissions area is going to be crucial to you as a recruiter when you're making submissions. I know, as having a recruiting background, the last thing you want is to go through a very lengthy submission process and then find out that this candidate has already been submitted by another recruiter. The way we prevent that is by giving you the ability to input the email address of the candidate that you have in mind to apply to the position. Once you put the email address in, it'll check the database and make sure that the email address isn't associated with another candidate that's already been submitted into the platform. I know as a recruiter, this is going to save you a ton of time and a ton of trouble. Now, moving into some areas of presenting the job to your candidate. We give you a few ways to present the job to your candidate. One way is the social media option. We give you the ability to log into your LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, etc., and post a link to the open position on that page so that anyone associated with you, your page or signed up onto your page will be able to see that link and be able to apply to that position via your link. If a candidate is to apply to your position via your link and is awarded the position, you would receive the full referral reward amount for that placement. Another area we give you to refer candidates to a position is the refer and earn option. Very similar to the social media option, the refer and earn option generates a link so that you can share with your social contacts, professional contacts, and matching contacts in your database. Once a candidate clicks on your link, they get a detailed job description, and if they decide that they would like to apply themselves to the position and are awarded the position, you would receive the full referral reward amount. Okay, moving into the last method of applying a candidate into the platform. Now, this is the usual recruiting method when you're speaking to a candidate. You have the job information and you go through the job information with your candidate, update an updated resume into the platform, and a cover letter. And you'll see all that information here once you click on Apply on behalf of the candidate. We ask you for general information about the candidate. We ask you to upload an updated resume. And we ask for a cover letter, or I should say executive summary, of how your candidate's skills coincide with the job information, and just generally giving information on how your candidate would be a fit for the position. And lastly, we ask you some pre-screening questions, usually given to us by the hiring manager, deemed to be important for the position. Now, all this information has to be filled out correctly into the platform for the candidate to be submitted and considered for the position. Now, once you submit a candidate into the platform, an automatically generated referral email, or I should say, right to represent email, is sent to your candidate. So as a best practice, once you submit a candidate into the platform, let them know that they'll be receiving a right to represent email that'll look like this. So once you let them know that they'll be receiving the email, also make sure that they approve the email, or else the submission will never go live into our platform and never be able to be reviewed by the account manager associated with the client. It's very important best practice to remember to let your candidate know to accept this right to represent email. Okay, now moving into some areas that just generally help you as a recruiter keep track of your candidates and have a good understanding if there's any steps that need to be taken by you. First off, we give you the information on the applications that are assigned to you under Reflek. So this just gives you an understanding of how many applications are in the platform and what type of actions need to be taken on your end. And this could be taken directly through Reflek. Next, we give you a way to keep track of your referral reward earnings. This is a general breakdown of how much money you've made till date with Reflek. And as an incentive, seeing this amount rise as you're working with our platform is definitely a big plus and a major incentive to continue working with us. Next, we give you a general reports section. Now, this area gives you a breakdown of all the candidates that you have submitted, where they are in the candidate life cycle, and what type of action you would need to take on your end. As I said, this is a basic breakdown of all the candidates you have that are being considered. And as you start to grow your pipeline of candidates, generating an overall report will give you a good understanding of what steps you would need to take and what types of candidates you would need to just keep an eye on. All right, so that's some basic information going over some of the best practices on the Reflek platform. I know as you start to navigate the platform more, you'll probably have more questions. And this is my contact information. I also will be sharing with you after the webinar. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I would be your point of contact helping you get started. And I will also be able to give you access to the account managers that are associated with the clients if you have any questions. Now, these are some areas of concern that we hear from the recruiting community. Just want to address some of these for you, as these are some of the questions we usually get from our recruiters. Community engagement. Here at Reflek, we give a very detailed platform for you to interact with, but we also give you live individuals to interact with as well. You have me as a point of contact as your community lead, and you'll have access to the account managers that are associated with the clients if you have any job-specific questions. We also give you feedback on your submitted candidates, not only through the Reflek platform, but live information and feedback regarding your candidates directly from the account managers and the community leads. Here at Reflek, we try to give you more than just a portal system to interact with, but a live human experience. Competition and ownership. The way Reflek works, for you as a recruiter, when you submit a candidate to a client, regardless of the position, you have full ownership of that candidate for that client for a 6-month period. Now, as I said, even if that candidate would be a fit for another position outside of the one you'd submitted him for, he would still be considered your candidate for a 6-month period, regardless of the position. Competition level between recruiters. Now, as I said, we have quite a number of recruiters that are signed up to the platform on Reflek right now, and we are steadily growing. But the way we give you to prioritize on which positions to work on and how many recruiters are working on the position is the breakdown of the recruiters that are in the pipeline that I showed you earlier as one option. So you as a recruiter can get an understanding of how many candidates have already been submitted to a position and decide if you want to take action and work on it. We also can tell you on the recruiting side, right now there are quite a number of open positions on the platform that are being undercovered. So competition-wise, these jobs are wide open at the moment. And on an average, I can say at this moment on the platform, you may be only competing against maybe 1 or 2 other recruiters on any specific position. So the competition level is not very high at this moment. So for a recruiter, this is a prime time to get involved with the Reflek platform. Compensation and payment terms. As I showed you, next to each job description, we give you the full referral reward amount that you'll be compensated, and that is the complete referral reward amount that you will earn. Also, we give you the payment terms or the guarantee period associated with each position. As I said, they're on average between 60 and 90 days. And the reason why we do this is so that there's no problems in terms of having to repay a client if we do not complete the guarantee period. And if you have any other questions on this, we'll be happy to answer them as we're going along. These are some employer testimonials. As I showed you before, we have quite a few top name clients that are getting involved with Reflek, and we're adding new clients almost on a daily basis. And from these testimonials and a few others, the general response is very positive on the Reflek platform. Employers are very excited to have their positions have access to hundreds of recruiters and to have resumes delivered to them in a quicker fashion. And some recruiter testimonials. We're reaching out to quite a few recruiters on the platform. We work with recruiters on a one-on-one basis. We are vested here at Reflek in the recruiter's success because it's our success. We are partnered in this platform. So we do everything we can here at Reflek to make things easier for the recruiter and to guide them through to make them successful. And these are just a few bits of information and some positive feedback from some of our recruiters. Awards and recognition. Reflek has been noticed by quite a few startup magazines, and we've also been featured in Forbes on how our crowdsourcing model is transforming the workplace. All this positive press is actually helping us on the client side, being that our platform is revolutionary in terms of how we're utilizing the crowdsourcing platform in a recruiting perspective. Okay, so I know you've been asking questions throughout this presentation. I want to encourage you, if you have any other questions, please feel free to type them in. We'll be sure to address them, and if there's anything we do not address, we will address it after the webinar. Also want to draw your attention to the next phase in the process, registration onto our Wednesday 12 p.m. webinar. Now, this webinar will cover some specifics pertaining to the jobs that are on the platform. They'll go over hot jobs, focus jobs, information about the client, important information that a recruiter would need to start sourcing. So I encourage you to click on this link. It's a very quick process. It will give you this registration page. And all you would need to put is some basic information, your email address, and register. Should only take 1 to 2 minutes to register for this webinar. And as I said, it's the next level, the next phase in the process, and it'll definitely help you get acclimated on which positions would be priority to work on. All right. Just giving everyone a chance to ask some questions here. Do you provide any sourcing tools, LinkedIn Recruiter Pro, or any type of sourcing tools? Unfortunately, the way the Reflek model works is Reflek handles the client side relationship, and we leave it up to the recruiters to handle the sourcing and the candidate relationship. We do not provide any type of sourcing tools. Okay, for the question about the referrals. Now, as an independent recruiter, when you're signed on as an independent recruiter, you can send a referral link to a candidate that you want to refer for the position. Now, if that candidate was to relay your link to another person for that position, and that person was to apply, you would still get the full referral reward amount. You would not share via that passing on that link. This is a contingency-based model. So the way it would work is it's free to sign on to the platform, and you would have access to the jobs, but you would not receive a payment until you were to place a candidate, and you would receive that payment after the guarantee period. The way the Reflek model works is you have the ability to work as much or as little on the platform as you see fit. If you wanted to work it on a full-time basis, you have that option. If you wanted to work it on a part-time basis, you have that option. So to answer your question, is there any minimum number of candidates? No, there's not. But if you want to start receiving referral reward amounts and getting paid for your placements, I would say it's best to put more time than less onto the platform. When candidates are submitted into the platform, the first person to review those candidates is our internal account manager. The way it works here at Reflek is once we receive a position, our internal account manager works with the client-side hiring manager and has an intake session for that position. So the account manager would be the best person to have an understanding of the position and what type of key points are important for that position. So to answer your question, the account manager is the first line of defense once a candidate is submitted into the platform. The way a candidate can apply themselves into the platform is by creating a user account. Now, we give you two methods of signing on to the Reflek platform as a user. You can sign up as a user, meaning you're a person that's a job seeker. You want to come onto the Reflek platform, see which jobs that you would like to apply yourself to. The second method would be an independent recruiter, where you're actually sourcing and trying to find a candidate for the position. So you're not applying yourself. Okay. All right. I'm going to start to bring this to a close, everyone. I just want to thank you all for your questions and your interest on Reflek. Want to again encourage you to start the sign-up process and get involved with the Reflek platform. There are quite a few open positions right now that are in dire need of coverage. We can use the assistance and partnership on the recruiting side. And if you have any questions, job specific or pertaining to the platform, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be sure to get back to you on a one-on-one basis.